Hi, I'm Eric Rodriguez with your Garrison Public Affairs Office, and today we've got a special episode for you on location with the Department of Emergency Services of Fort Cavazos. We're going to talk to you today about holiday safety, different programs that the department offers to keep you safe, all that and more on today's episode of the Great Big Podcast. Welcome back to the Great Big Podcast. We're here with Officer Reyna. Officer Reyna, please tell us what we're going to do today.
Yes, so today we'll be heading out to some of the housing areas and we'll be discussing more or less about the topic of automotive theft and burglary. You ready?
Let's go.
All right, let's go.
All right, Officer Reyna, sounds like a big long day ahead of us. You jumping in the all-terrain or what?
Oh, no, not today, sir. Today we'll be taking this bad boy, unmarked vehicle, special day for a special project.
All right.
All right, let's hop in.
So, Officer Reyna, where are you from?
I am from Mission, Texas. It's about like 5 hours and a half down south from here.
Okay, so being at Cavazos is not being too far from home. Still a little bit of familiarity, but
yeah,
far enough.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Texas is Texas. It's always home. So my first duty station was in Korea.
So what made you want to join the Army in the first place?
I would say some of my family members, they were prior service. They served for some time, went in the Vietnam era, and you know I've always looked up to him. So that was a little something that that I grasped onto and wanted me to join.
So something like a tradition, like a legacy
Yes.
thing. That's pretty awesome. So what inspired you to join the military police specifically?
So my recruiter, he told me, hey, it's an amazing job. You get to have a little background or, have a little grasp onto how law enforcement works. That way you're able to take this MOS and place it outside in the civilian sector whenever you do get a chance to get out. So it's a good job.
Okay.
I really like it.
So you're still young in rank. So you've been serving for how long?
2 years and 2 months. Yeah,
Okay.
2 years, 2 months. I should be getting promoted soon. I would say like in the next 2 weeks, I'll be going up to an E4 specialist in the U.S. Army. It's amazing.
Talking about what we're talking about today, like vehicle thefts. I mean, how crazy is the vehicle theft problem in the area? Is it super bad? Is it average, just like anywhere else?
It's very common. It's very common. I mean, you would not expect it, and it's when you least expect it as well. You know what I mean? Most people, they tend to leave their vehicles unlocked, and some people do lock them, which is the best way to do it. But yeah, it's very common. And then right now, since holidays are right around the corner, we want to prevent any of that.
Right. So, I mean, I could see how people can get a little complacent. They feel a little safe living on the post, right?
Yes.
Maybe I don't have to lock my door, but it's still probably smart. What other smart things can we do to make sure that we stay out of that?
There's 5 key points. So first of all, say you're going out, you're about to go shopping for your loved ones. You gotta make sure you park your vehicle, you station your vehicle somewhere where it's lit. Lit area where there's a clear visual on your vehicle. That way you can spot it from far away. Rule number 2 would be never leave your car running while it's unattended. You always gotta have someone in the vehicle, right? Third, now new vehicles have these key fobs. You can always turn it on, but always make sure you have your key fob with you. Lock it, right? Lock it. Always have your keys with you. Fourth would be your most valuable items. Most of the time you want to take those down as well. It could be paperwork, essential documents like your driver's license, social security numbers, all that information that you don't want someone else to grab or get hold of. Make sure you take it down with you. And fifth would be, if you are shopping and you know you can't go home yet because you still got to go a little bit more out to different stores, make sure you hide all those valuable items or cover them up with a blanket, or just station them somewhere where it's very dark and it's very hard for someone to notice them.
So, violating all the rules, it's probably not smart to leave my brand new PS5 on the front seat of my car unlocked in a dark parking lot somewhere on base.
Oh no, someone will look at it and see it as in, hey, well, look at this.
Well, I would think it would be the most common sense thing is not to leave your car running unattended, but I mean, it's something you highlighted, so obviously it's something that happens.
Yes, yes.
So, I know you got to keep some things from public information. What are some of the things that you've seen out here? Some examples, maybe?
Yes, most of the time, people do like to leave, you know, their important essentials like their vests, their IOTVs, or helmets inside the vehicle, somewhere where it's visible, which is a big no-no. Yeah, like I covered on paperwork, any document that you have, make sure to take that with you. Yeah, most people, complacency is not good. We always got to be alert, we got to stay awake, stay smart, and be proactive.
All right. Did you guys have any recent examples of something you might have maybe stopped in the middle of happening, or things you guys have seen on the sides of, you know, things to look out for?
Just, you know, people, we're always alert. We're always alert, seeing a bunch of, going around the neighborhoods, making sure that people are, if they're walking, they're just walking and not looking into other people's fences. Trying not to, you know, go about anyone else's house if they don't live there. And we just keep patrolling, trying to keep this place safe.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about specific like vehicle break-ins for property. What are we seeing as far as, you know, on Fort Cavazos with actual vehicle theft?
In regards to automotive theft, it's relatively very low, right? But the most things that we do encounter as far as the theft and burglary is people leaving their key fobs inside the vehicle, making it easier for them to be a victim.
So what's something that anybody could do, doesn't probably take a lot of effort, just to give themselves like a check?
I would say that maybe around 2100 or right before bed, they should put an alarm, you know, and that way it's a reminder to them to make sure that their vehicles are locked, make sure everything, all their important credentials are taken out of the vehicle, and make sure everything's sitting tight and their valuables are there.
Sounds easy enough to me. Set an alarm, do one last security check before racking out for the night. That's probably really easy.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any other tips for anybody who's listening or watching?
Oh yes, you know, see, all the tips that I've put out, it just doesn't apply on installation. You know, being in uniform is one thing, but you also are a person and you have another life outside of the military. So in case you do go out about to Walmart, to the mall, anywhere in general, you can also apply these tips outside. Like, make sure you park in a well-lit area, stay safe, stay alert, and happy holidays.
So, Officer Reyna, I really appreciate you talking to me about, you know, vehicle thefts and different things you guys are seeing with that. What do we have on the rest of the slate for the day?
So as of right now, we'll be heading back to the police station, and I'll hand it over to my partner, Detective Samaripa. He'll be talking to you about a little bit more that what has been happening here on post of Fort Cavazos.
Sounds great. Let's get to it.
You're in the mix with the man who sets the turntables on fire.
Here comes the
I'm literally en route right now, man. Wait, hang on. This song is my jam. All right, so look, tonight we're on Elm Street, right? I'm only about 10 minutes out. And listen, don't worry about Willie, okay? I'm gonna make sure he's there. He's gonna be there. I'm gonna shoot him a text right now, okay? Out.
Sergeant Mathers prides himself in his ability to multitask, on or off duty. Only one problem. Studies show that successful multitasking while at the wheel is not possible. The stats were against him. Reaching for that burger made it 8 times more likely he'd crash. Did you know distracted driving causes nearly 50% of all accidents? All in all, it injures almost 400,000 people a year and kills nearly 4,000. On or off duty, distracted driving is deadly. The bottom line, if you drive while distracted, then you're not driving.
Executive Sam Mariba, how are we doing this
Hey,
morning?
good to see you again. Good to see you again.
too. So what do we got in store for us now?
Well, you know what? We're going to go out today. We're going to talk about crime prevention around housing. You know, and we'll talk about some tips about how to keep yourself secure, how to keep yourself safe, and then also we're going to look at highlight our housewatch program as well. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get rolling.
Let's go. Can you tell me a little bit about, you know, what we're seeing in the housing areas and things that we could do to prevent, what programs that you guys run?
Well, so for the most part, you know, one of the things that we like owners to do is take pride in ownership of their housing area in itself, you know. Like for instance, you know, you want to be able to have maintained in trees. Like see right here, this bush right here, it covers that window, so easily somebody can hide behind that bush if you don't trim them down. Now we have what we call a 3 and 7 rule. So we want bushes and hedges to be trimmed 3 feet down, okay, or your tree limbs to be 7 feet up, okay, yeah. So like right here, these trees right here give good visibility on both sides here. You can see, it makes our job a lot easier. You can see and know what's going on. But see this tree right here, where it's dead?
Yeah.
If it had foliage on there, there would be a part of an obstruction right there, right? So you want to cut those, you want to cut all that down so you can have that natural surveillance, if you will, to be able to see, for us to be able to see in people's yards and make sure that we can detect, okay, anybody that's coming in or out that shouldn't be there. So those are the things that I look for while out on patrol. And then being able to educate the community behind that, even though it's like, okay, it's a simple maintenance issue, but yeah, it is, but it's a perfect opportunity for an individual to take advantage of, to be able to conceal or cover themselves, if you will, within the area, and we're not going to be able to see them. And then they can carry whatever activities they want to carry out, you know.
So what are some other things that we've been seeing in the housing areas or out in the other communities that apply here that we can, you know?
But, you know, ironically, you know, people feel like, you know, when you're on Fort Cavazos, that it's relatively, it's safer, okay, than out there in Killeen or Copper's Cove or Harker Heights. But you know what? Here's the thing: people are people, okay, and people both good and bad. You have them here on the installation and off the installation. We are not exempt from people doing making wrong choices and doing those and acting out on those acts, you know, those bad acts. And then so what we want people to realize is that just because it seems like it's a sleepy community, you always want to be safe and secure. Locking your doors, locking your windows, okay? Taking care of your yard. Make sure you have natural surveillance for us to be able to see in and out. You want to be able to kind of look and, you know, still feel safe. And we do. We have a relatively safe area, okay? We you know, burglaries occur here because of opportunity created by the victims, okay? So the burglary needs 3 things. He needs desire and the ability and opportunity, okay? The only way that a burglar is unsuccessful, okay, is when victims take away the opportunity. And that's what we want to highlight here. The more you take the opportunities away, the less likely you are to become a victim.
Okay. So you've touched on some ways to make that opportunity go away, trimming the hedges and the bushes around homes. We talked about making sure things are locked and secure.
Right.
There's a program that you guys run. Here on
Absolutely.
Fort Cavazos.
Yeah.
What? Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, the housewatch program. And the housewatch program is one of the programs that we have here at the Cavazos. and for our residents. And what that does is that each patrol officer is assigned a different sector, a different beat. Okay, and then so a patrol officer will come out and do a security a check on your house, making sure that the doors and windows, nothing looks like it's out of fray. They may take a look around your house and just make sure that your stuff is good or hasn't been tampered with. Okay. Now, in the event that something does happen, and while they're under security checks, there are ways that we can contact the owner and a key holder, if you will, to come out and let us into the residence, and so that way we can make sure that there's nothing going on in the residence and make sure that all the property is secure. In the event that there is, and let's just say we do come across a crime scene, our detectives would be able to come out there and process that crime scene and being able to hopefully develop evidence to identify the perpetrators involved in any type of crime that occurs inside the residence while the homeowner's away.
And so how would somebody who's maybe going on leave or getting ready to go to a school or just go visit family, do something, how do they get that going with you guys?
Well, real easy. All they have to do is come by building 23,020 and walk through the double doors there, and off to the left hand side along the wall right there is our forms right there. Complete the form, okay, and then they can hand it to the desk sergeant to be able to process it so it gets put on our security checklist every day. So every day at guard mount, our patrol officers receive a security checklist requirements that they're required to do during patrol, as calls for service allow. And then so with that being said, officers are coming out and trying to get those security checks, but in the event that there's an emergency or anything like that, or they're tied up on another priority call, those security checks will eventually be conducted once they're through with their primary assignment. Okay, because this is what they do during the normal routine patrols in between calls for service, is when they go out and try to hit those security checks during that time. Some days are busier than others, okay, but the thing about it is that it's another preventative measure that they can put in place for that in itself. Also, if they have a trusted friend or relative that can come and check on their house too, that's always a good fail-safe as well, and make sure if you have that person do that, make sure they're listed as a key holder as well.
Yeah. You guys don't want any misunderstandings.
Yeah, we definitely don't want no misunderstandings. I'm not saying that happened a time or two, but okay.
Never say never.
Never say never,
You wouldn't have to mention it otherwise.
Right. Murphy's Law comes into play, right? So
I know that the program is effective for all the housing on the main cantonment.
Mm-hmm.
Fort Cavazos is one of those weird posts where we have a couple of housing areas that are not connected to the main cantonment.
Mm-hmm.
So does that program affect those areas as well?
Yes, it affects everything within the exclusive jurisdiction of Fort Cavazos. So Pershing Park, Venable Village, Kuma Village, West Fort Cavazos. All of those residents over there are eligible to participate.
Outstanding. That's really, really good information to know. So with other major holidays coming up, do you have any other tips for folks to keep in mind during the seasons?
Well, as you know, holiday cheers are a big one, right?
Holiday cheers, holiday beers.
Yeah. You're out there doing your thing with your friends and family and everything like that, but you know what? Sometimes somebody takes a little bit too much of the bubbly or too much of the spirits, and then they want to get behind the wheel and drive a car.
Right.
Yeah. And this, you think about a car and somebody who's intoxicated or impaired behind a vehicle, man, that's just has catastrophic results every single time. I can tell you certain times that especially this time of the season right now, that I pulled over folks that may have simply just run a red light and wind up being an intoxicated driver as a result of them coming back from a festivity that they had. They just had too much to drink, and these are normally good people. They're not hardened criminals. They're good people that made wrong choices, and we want everybody to make sure that when you go out and celebrate the holidays and with your loved ones or family, that you have a plan in place, that you have a designated driver, okay? And it doesn't mean your designated driver only has 2 drinks, because I've seen that before too. Okay, but your designated driver is truly your designated driver, that they're alcohol free and that they're able to operate a motor vehicle to get you to and from home. But you know what? Cast that aside. There's apps out there for Lyft. There's apps out there for Uber.
The Cavazos connector.
The Cavazos connector. There's plenty of resources here available for soldiers and family members, and to be able to pick up the phone and say, hey, I had a little bit too much today. I need to ride home. Okay. Hey, when you hear that over the phone, there's no questions asked.
Right.
Get up, go, and let's, just go and take care of them, because, it's easy to pay. It's easy to pay a small amount of money versus thousands of dollars of attorney fees and court fees associated with the DWI.
Right.
Not to mention
The possibility of hurting somebody.
of hurting somebody and going to prison, okay? Or, your livelihood. Once your livelihood is taken away, that's it. You wind up, it's not easy to recover from.
Right.
And it's just so much easier to just pick up the phone, use an app, spend that extra $50 to $75 on ways to get you home. I'm the Fort Cavazos connections here as well. Man, what a wonderful resources that soldiers have all the time. But you know what? We always wind up with somebody behind the wheel who's intoxicated, and they had too many. Okay. When I hear that, hey, how much have you had tonight? I had 2. That's probably too many. Yeah. And then so it's like I said, it's just a matter of just holiday safety when you're around alcohol and being smart about it, And what another thing is that we see is that people don't wear their seatbelts. Come on, the easiest thing that you can do to help preserve your life is wearing your seatbelt. And then so there'll be some click-it and ticket campaigns coming up during the holiday season. I can guarantee you on that as well.
Make sure I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah. Just buckle up. Just buckle up and get to your destination safely. If you're already late, you're already late. Speedy's not going to get you there any faster.
Can't turn back the clock.
Can't turn back the clock. And then if you get pulled over while speeding and not wearing your seatbelt, that's just going to be a bad day altogether.
You're going to be extra late too.
Yeah, you're gonna be extra late, And then doing that and speeding and not buckling up and being intoxicated behind the wheel, it's just gonna be a bad holiday season all around.
That's just a recipe for disaster all around.
Right.
You're right. Be smart and do the right thing.
Right.
There's too many opportunities to make the right choice.
Correct. Yeah. If you get caught behind the wheel drinking and driving, you're going to go through the process, and we have a no refusal. So even if you refuse, we're going to go and get a search warrant, because that's how much we believe in preserving the safety and security and not creating any harm as a result of driving while intoxicated.
All right, Lieutenant Sam Ripa, I really appreciate your time today and taking me out to the housing area and talking to me about the housewatch program and different things to look out for.
Sure.
Can you show me what that form looks like?
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Okay. I'll be more than happy to show that form here to you. The Fort Cavazos housewatch program form looks like this. Okay. And as we talked about earlier, all they do is just they fill out their pertinent information. Okay. What's really good is if they give us an alternate phone number right here. Okay. As we talked about earlier, in a neighborhood, key holders or somebody who's going to be coming by the house in itself. Okay. That's very key for us to be able to get a hold of and make sure that they have the availability to do that. And then also your return. Okay. Upon your return, make sure you check on everything. And this one right here, people forget to call. Okay. Make sure you call us and let us know. Okay. Because if we come at 2 o'clock in the morning and check your house and we see a car that's not supposed to be there, we're going to come knocking. We're going to come with some things, and we're going to take care of that. And you're going to see the effectiveness of the housewatch program in itself. Okay. So, So we always have a tendency for residents to forget to contact the MP desk and give them their house code information to cancel the house watch program. Okay.
So make sure that they're there for the beginning and they let you guys know when it's over.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
All
and,
right.
and any additional notes that they need to know, like, hey, in addition to you guys checking on it, I'm going to have Miss Smith, who's a key holder number 1, going to check on it. And those are notes that they can put on the back right here, okay, and let us know, so that way we can annotate that as well.
Lieutenant Sam Ripa, thank you so much for the time today, walking me through that form and talking to me about the Housing Watch program. I hope you have a great holiday.
Yeah, it was my pleasure to do that, okay? Thank you, and you too.
Thanks.
Home feels safe, but arriving at your holiday destination is only half the battle. Most holiday exodus mishaps occur in the soldiers' local area, not on the trip there or back. The Army loses approximately 11 soldiers every year during the holiday season. Most of them are privates and specialists, almost all of them in vehicle crashes. Many involve alcohol. Leaders, have you gotten in front of your formation's distress safety? First line supervisors counseling soldiers saves lives. Period.
Hey everyone, I'm Eric Franklin with your Garrison Public Affairs.
And I'm back, Eric Rodriguez, same team.
So, you was in the back of the police car?
No, I was up front this time. The view is so much better.
Man, yeah. You know, I have partaked in their services a few times. Nothing bad, but, you know, I've partaken in their services. So, kind of what did you learn on that field trip today?
So we talked a lot about the House Watch program, and I always kind of knew it was there. I never used it myself, but after talking with Sammy about, you know, kind of the ins and outs and getting it going, I think it's a really, really good thing. You know, everybody's kind of traveling over the holiday season and, you know, going every which way all over the country. Some guys are traveling all over the world.
Yeah.
And, you know, they can't be there to watch their stuff, and it's always kind of nice to have that peace of mind knowing that somebody with integrity is going to be kind of looking over your property and keeping all your stuff safe.
Yeah, so what was the key takeaway that you might have been kind of slacking at your house?
So for me, I like to think I'm pretty security conscious. But again, like I said, the house watching program I think is the biggest thing. Knowing that I can have somebody just swing by and kind of take a look around, make sure nothing looks out of the ordinary, and they kind of know what to look for, you know. So that makes me feel pretty good. And if I were still living on post or had that opportunity, I would absolutely take advantage of that.
Cool. So, you know, Thanksgiving was just a few days ago. Did you get rid of all your Thanksgiving food yet?
Listen, I have learned over the years with the kids, right? Kids are picky eaters.
Yeah.
And so if we make all that food, right, it feels like a one-man show for leftovers, and I cannot tackle like 3/4 of a turkey by myself, even if you give me 2 months.
Yeah.
Not that I'm eating it for that long, but it's just too much. So this year we decided, you know, we roasted a chicken, we did that thing, you know, all the pies and all the good stuff, right, that everybody will eat, but we kept it small. Mostly the kids now, it's kind of Thanksgiving your way. Like, you're thankful for some things. What do you want to have to eat today?
Yeah.
Kind of that sort of thing. So roast chicken for me and the wife and the young one, and then the other kids kind of all did pizza.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that we have that opportunity, and you know, to have these big meals. But at the same time, I think sometimes for me, I just like something simple. I'm thankful for, you know, I was thankful for just being able to be alive and have the great job that I have and just have the friends and family that I have. So was it for me. I hate eating all that food because then it just takes up my refrigerator, and it's just like now I can't put other stuff in there. So it's a great thing, but I just think we overeat so much sometimes.
You're absolutely right. And you know what? Those toasted turkey sandwiches are only good for so many days.
Yes, they are. What else do we have coming up this week or this next couple of weeks? You know, the year's almost over. This is like we have 4 weeks left in the year.
You know, Christmas is around the corner, and I'm looking forward to seeing all my family. I know my kids will all be here, and for me, that's the biggest thing. I love being around my kids. You know, being enlisted yourself, you know what it's like going back and forth all the time. And we came up in a deployment army overseas every other year, so I missed a lot. I'm catching up now. It's great. So for me, with the holiday season coming up, as far as Christmas, Like that's the biggest thing for me. I'm looking forward to hanging out with my family and stuff. What about you?
Yeah, same thing. Just looking to relax. I think I'm taking the last 2 weeks of the year off. For the most part, I'm gonna be home and just catch up on a lot of stuff. I say catch up on sleep, but it never really happens. It's always, I say I'm going to sleep, but it's like, oh, I got to go do this, I got to go do that. So I actually get less sleep when I'm not at work. But that's it. I think only other big thing that I'm looking forward to this year is the tree lighting. That's Friday, I think it is.
Yeah,
What's
that's
today?
coming up
Yeah.
too, yeah.
This Friday we have the tree lighting, and I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I look forward to this holiday. Then of course Christmas, then New Year's, then we're gonna be having the conversation that we had last January here in just 4 weeks. It's crazy to think about it like that.
You're right. And then, now that you mention it with the tree lighting coming up, my kids are coming. One thing we always do, and I kind of glossed over it, I'm surprised I didn't say anything, nature and lights of blue.
Oh, my
I've
God,
been doing
yeah.
that for over a decade.
Yeah.
And it's still great every time.
This is showing my age. I remember Nature and Lights. I was in high school. I think I was a senior in high school. It was the first time that I went. And yeah, that was a long time ago. I'm not going to say how long ago that was. But that was a long time. And if I'm here, I go. And like every year I go, it's like it's always packed. It always takes me and it seems like an hour. It goes by fast, but it seems like it takes forever to get through it. So again, that's something else that I think I like to go after Christmas. So like this is actually the last day that I will be wearing my flower shirts. They go away until the spring because why? Like I just really like the shirt, so that's why. But usually they go away, but it's just like I go right after Christmas, right after Thanksgiving rather. So probably sometime this week or next week we'll go out there, hang out, go get some cocoa at the Santa's Rogue Shop there, and find some little knickknacks. Oh,
yeah, that little shop or the little stop at the little Santa's Village thing they got going on, that's a must. There's always some good stuff going on there. Free activities for the kids and all kind of little knickknacks and stuff. It's a good spot.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. And we'd like to thank you guys for tuning in to us and listening to the Eric and Eric Show. No, it's the Great Big Podcast here at Fort Cavazos. But right now it's the Eric and Eric Show. Well, we'd like to thank you guys, and we hope that your holidays was great, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.
Happy holidays. Take care, y'all.